You see? Or maybe the rapture already happened and you are the ones left behind. Please share your thoughts on that. Then look at this creepy type of cat. Oh, looks like it has some human face, or what's up with this cat? Where is it from? Oh my god, what type of creatures are these? Oh man, do these really exist on Earth, or they are made in some lab, some place there? English people, what are these things? You see, these ones are scary and I've never seen them from this side of the world. You see? Oh, this guy here have their dog, and it's like their dog fears to record on the camera. Look at this. Oh, this is crazy, man. What's up with this dog? What are you guys giving your dogs or pets, man? Or is this normal for some other breeds of dogs? You see, this is crazy. Myself, I've never seen dogs doing this. Anyway, thanks for watching up to this for interesting people. Always hit the like button, leave some comment.
Breaking news, this video is going viral and causing controversy. Check this out.
Someone needs to let me know if I am the only one that has noticed that men are not like how they were when our parents were growing up. Like, I grew up, I don't know if it's because like the Italian values or what, like I grew up like the man is supposed to take care of the woman. The man is supposed to go up to the girls. Like the man is supposed to have drive and initiate everything. Like I feel like now it's so hard to find guys that like even just in general have drive in life. Like I feel like it's so different, and I don't know, like I personally never get approached. I never. Maybe something's wrong with me. I don't know. But like I feel like then like whenever I like talk about it, everyone's like, oh well, they want the girl to like go up to them. Like what? When did this change? When did this change? Because I want a man. I don't want to be the man. Someone come up to me. Anyways, I just feel like there's no manly men. I just don't think so. I think every guy I've met is like honestly super emotional. And that's fine. Like I'm all about feelings, whatever. Like I'm an emotional person. So like that's okay. But I feel like it's definitely like sometimes worse than girls. Like I'm not even kidding. Like it's crazy. Anyways, so if anyone knows if manly men still exist, let me know.
Now, there's pretty much two groups of people responding to this video. One group is very upset at this video. They're asking questions like, why would you want a traditional relationship where the man is supposed to be masculine? That's so not 2023. And a lot of feminists are saying that what she wants is problematic, because her wanting a strong man is just feeding into the patriarchy, when she should be a strong, independent boss babe who don't need no man. But the other group is pretty much saying, I mean, what did you expect to happen? Men are told nowadays that they don't have to be a traditional man, that they can be in touch with their emotions, they can, wear dresses, they can, engage in their feminine side. And this is why you don't see men like you saw back in the 1950s, because unfortunately American priorities have changed. Because once upon a time we used to see men as leaders, as masculine, but now that's seen as problematic and not inclusive. And that if you're a masculine man these days, you're just called toxic and shamed for being a leader or masculine. I mean, which side are you guys on? Let me know down below. Don't forget to like this video, share it everywhere, hit that follow button. Until next time, love, peace, and taco grease. So yeah, those men left when feminism said they were problematic.
Yo, let's see your comments on that one. You see?
Worse than a human. And we can't really smell. Our sinuses are clogged up. We can't really perceive the odors that we create, but we do stink. And here's why. There's a strategy being played upon us. Basically, they are attacking us. They are attacking our natural scent, and they are also attacking our hearts, which is connected to our natural scent. And basically, they are using the technology of cleanliness. They tell the world that cleanliness is next to godliness. And what do you see people doing? You see people scrubbing their skin, scrubbing their armpits, brushing their teeth, wearing perfumes, putting on deodorant, and thinking this is making them clean. But I'll tell you now that if you do any of those things, you are not clean. In fact, you are dirty, and you are not close to being godly if you're cleaning yourself that way. Cleanliness is next to godliness. Yeah, that is correct. But that type of clean, that is not clean. That is, in fact, dirtiness. And I'll explain to you why. Basically, our sense, our individual smell is being generated by our skin, by the openings in our skin, and it also is stored in our hair. And that is why there's a strategy being played upon us. They want us to cut our hair. They want us to wash our hair with shampoos. They want us to put conditioners in our hair because they understand the importance of smell, and they want to wipe out all of the natural information our bodies produce. So we wash our hair with shampoo, we shave, and I'll tell you now, I'll have a video about this in the future, but I'll tell you about the significance of hair once again. Hair is not something that you want to cut. Hair is not something that you want to manipulate, and hair is not something that you want to wash, because hair does store smell, and you're basically lessening your influence on the world. Remember, your smell encases your aura.
Do you agree with that good vibes human, people of Earth? You see?
People are seeing giant platypus in Alaska, and it's not just Doofenshmirtz fanfiction. Perry the platypus. Alaskan Bigfoot researcher J. Robert Alley took an interesting report about such a creature. Story goes that in the area of Mountain Point, which is 6 miles south of Ketchikan, there was a sighting of a large ocean platypus. A businessman named Mike F., who is a retired fisherman, said that as a young man he had watched an animal in the water that looked like a 6-foot or longer platypus. He described the creature as being dark with a bill and having feet like a platypus. He was not able to see the tail, however. Mike said that the sighting was in shallow water on a rocky shoreline, and the creature was close to the surface. Should Doofenshmirtz be looking for giant ocean platypuses? Platypi? I don't know, in Alaska? Let me know if you've seen a giant ocean platypus in the comments.
Why are there 60 seconds in a minute? It sounds like a question a child might ask, but to answer it, we need to understand the human skeleton, ancient civilizations that rose out of the desert, and the forces that hold the universe together. But I'm getting way ahead of myself. Let's go back in time a little bit. It's 1795. The French Revolution is in full swing, and they've got this new invention called the metric system. Everything is divisible by 10. Kilograms, meters, great, it all makes sense. Naturally, they try to apply the same principles to time, so they create the 10-hour day. Each hour will have 100 minutes, and each minute will have 100 seconds. It's easy to remember, it's better for math, and yet it only lasted 17 months. I guess you could say they ran out of time. Kilometers stuck around, kilograms too, but the 100-minute hour didn't stand a chance. But why? France's 10-hour day was just as valid as hour 24. You see, a day is a real thing. It is one rotation of the Earth. A year is real. It is a lap around the sun. But an hour is not real. Minutes are not real. Seconds are not real. We've just decided they mean something. They don't correspond to any kind of natural phenomenon other than certain kinds of radiation, but we'll get into that later. The point is, minutes, seconds, and hours are just fractions of a day that we've agreed upon. So why 60? Seems like a strange number to choose, doesn't it? Like, why not 50? 50 seems more round. Why not 100? Well, the answer is right here in the bone structure of my hand and in the ancient cities of Mesopotamia. You see, it all started when we invented numbers. Now, I know this is a strange concept for some people to grasp. Like, what do you mean we invented numbers? Numbers just exist. And that's kind of true. Numbers exist, but numeral systems don't. In the modern world, we tend to count with a base 10 system, also known as a decimal system. What does this mean? Well, we think of numbers that are divisible by 10, other than 1 through 9. You can tack that on the end. Everything else has to be divisible by 10. When we say 87, what we mean is 8 tens plus 7. But there are other ways of counting. For example, base 20, which Abraham Lincoln used when he gave the Gettysburg Address. When he said 407 years ago, a score is 20, so he meant 4 20s plus 7, aka 87 years ago. Computers use base 2, otherwise known as binary. It's all ones and zeros. This is what 87 looks like. 10 10 111. It's all ones and zeros. And then there's base 60. or sexagesimal counting. At first glance, base 60 seems completely unhinged, but trust me, there is a method to the madness. I've fallen in love with it, and by the end of this video, you might too. It's the oldest numeral system we know of, invented in ancient Mesopotamia more than 4,000 years ago. Some people say that base 10 is intuitive because humans have 10 fingers, but what if I were to tell you that there is a way to count to 60 using these same two hands? I'm putting my microphone here for a second so I can show you. I hope you can still hear me okay. All right. So, most humans have 10 fingers. Each finger has 3 knuckles, 3 segments. And so what you do is you count these segments with your thumb as like a counter. You go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. When you get to 12, all right, you put a finger up, and then you do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, yada, yada. You put another finger up. That's 24, 36, 48, and 60. Some scientists theorize that this is why base 60 became popular, because of the natural connection with human anatomy. Ancient Mesopotamia is often referred to as the cradle of civilization. It's where writing was probably invented for the first time, as well as some of the world's oldest cities. Ancient Mesopotamians likely used base 60 for lots of different reasons, but most importantly, it is extremely divisible. Fractions are just so much easier. 1/3 of 10 is 3.33 repeating, but 1/3 of 60 is 20. 1/4 is 15. 1/5 is 12. 1/6 is 10. It fits so neatly into so many different fractions. This divisibility is a major reason why we still use base 60 today to describe angles. That's where we get 360 degrees from. It is 6 60s. Base 60 is so useful, it was likely developed independently at least one other time by the Akari people of Western New Guinea. We use it for lots of stuff, but most importantly, we use it for time. But here's where things get weird. What is a second, really? Well, there's two ways to think about this. One is what we've been talking about. A second is 1/86,400th of a day. But there's a problem. Every day isn't the same length. You see, lots of things can change the speed the Earth rotates. Friction from the tides, melting ice caps, even earthquakes. A 2011 earthquake in Japan sped up the rotation of the Earth by 1.8 microseconds. Because of this, we actually need to add leap seconds every couple of years. Since 1972, we've added 48 leap seconds, which is kind of a lot. That's like almost a full leap minute. We have to do this because our modern measurement of a second is not technically a division of a day. It comes from atomic clocks. We look at an atom of cesium, which emits radiation at a very specific frequency. 1 second is exactly 9,192,631,770 oscillations. So we finally have our answer, a second that is the same for everyone. Or is it? There's one other thing that can happen. What if a second could be slower or faster depending on who is experiencing it? And I'm not just talking about when I say I'll be there in a second and I haven't even gotten in the car yet. That's different, all right? You've probably seen sci-fi movies like Interstellar, where time moves slower closer to black holes or in spaceships traveling very fast. But what if I told you that Einstein's theory of relativity isn't just the realm of sci-fi, but something that we can observe right here on Earth? On GPS satellites, we have to make a 38 microsecond adjustment because time is literally moving faster up there than on Earth. This is because gravity warps space-time itself, and the stronger it is, the slower time moves. So the further away you get from Earth, the less gravity there is, and the faster time moves. In 2010, scientists even showed that we can measure differences in the speed of time at 12 inches of elevation. That means time moves faster for your head than it does for your feet. Keep in mind, these are minute amounts, but it's not nothing. Time is very, very strange, but I find it poetic. On one hand, we are still using numeral systems that were born in the deserts of ancient Mesopotamia. And yet, on the other hand, we can measure radiation from atoms and the effects of space-time. So why are there 60 seconds in a minute? Because we want there to be.
Oh man, that's interesting. Good vibes. I didn't know that about the time and seconds.
People are talking about the eclipse, but they're not talking about this. The sun and the moon are not aligned on April 8th. They are in Pisces. Right now, if you go to your Skyview app and you push forward to April 8th, plug it in, It will show you that the sun and the moon are in Pisces. They are not aligned. They are sitting beside each other, but they are not aligned. How is that possible? Because the sun and the moon have been out of place since back in September 2023. I've been doing these videos telling you that the sun is not where it should be. People are telling me it's the calendar. The calendar's off. Don't worry about it. It's where the sun is in the sky that's different. It's not where it should be. This eclipse is showing you that I am telling you the truth. Because if we see an eclipse on April 8th, how is that possible? If the sun and the moon are in Pisces, it can't be an Aries eclipse, right? If the sun is in Pisces, and if the sun and the moon are not aligned, they have to be aligned in order for you to see an eclipse, correct? So I don't have to be a fucking astrophysicist to understand this, and neither do you. I'm trying to get this out to as many people as I can. Please share this because, I mean, this is just a no-brainer. These heavenly bodies are changing. They are not where they should be. And they damn sure will not show you an eclipse in the sky if they are not aligned.
Oh, man. Oh, hey, what do you think about that? I didn't know whether it was a moth or a hummingbird. Huh. But anyway, it was a good vibes creature that decided to test the oranges, you see? And it's good vibes, man.
What? This is not what I was taught in school. This is an uncontacted tribe in one of the most remote places in the Amazon rainforest. Or as some people prefer to call them, indigenous peoples in voluntary isolation. Voluntary isolation means that whenever Westerners do try to contact uncontacted peoples, usually it's missionaries or corporations looking to exploit natural resources, they quickly get unalived. Whatever you sell them, bro, they do not want it. Think about that. In 2024, we estimate there are between 100 and 200 of these uncontacted tribes in the world. Still know so little about these uncontacted peoples that our estimate range is between 100 and 200. And 74 to 84 of those tribes reside deep in the Amazon. Usually these communities do not even communicate with other indigenous peoples. They won't even take Girl Scout cookies. Everybody wants Girl Scout cookies. Now, what I was taught in school is that most of the people of the Americas at the time of contact were hunter-gatherers, living transparently in the forests of North and South America, especially the people of the Amazon. And so the Amazon, like the eastern woodland of North America, was wild, untouched nature. But now these people have been living this same lifestyle since before Columbus. And what's going on here? This is a great example of food forestry and shifting cultivation. What that means is this tribe has cleared an area up here, as you can see, usually using fire. And they'll use those released nutrients to grow some kind of a polyculture crop, it looks like. Maybe maize, maybe quinoa, who knows? When those nutrients are used up in a few years, they'll shift to a new area. At that point, the previous plot shifts into a young food forest kind of system, usually focused in on a lot of edible young crops. And like me, it appears they like to live in this food forest. As it grows, they'll select for the trees that have the highest food value. As it turns out, people of the Amazon have been doing this for at least 4,500 years, making the Amazon we know today a giant food forest.
Yo, man, people should just let people live in good vibes and peace, you see? And love one another. And this bro here tried hard, but it's like he failed, you see? He tried to jump inside that stuff.
The following witnesses were driving down a remote, dark road when they accidentally hit an animal. They decided to back up and check it out. As they're reversing, the second witness decides to start recording the backup camera. And thank goodness she did, because she captured what they believe is to be a Bigfoot. They think they accidentally hit a Bigfoot and it started chasing their car. Take a look at this footage and you tell me, could this be the legendary Bigfoot? Or was this maybe a person or something else?
Something. Oh, it didn't hurt the car. Is that right there?
So could this big future really existing?
Okay, everybody, so I'm going to share this experience. This is the worst alien experience I've ever experienced, and I hope I never experience it again. Watch this to the end because it can surprise you. Being a channeler professionally for 18 years, I've seen some serious shit, right? But this one kind of takes the prize in a lot of ways. So have you ever been in one of those half sleeps? Or those dreams to where you know you're dreaming? It's like a lucid dream and you're like, oh my God, I am dreaming. Like I can do whatever I want in this dream. Those are the funnest ones to me. But as I'm in this situation, I'm getting pulled out of it. And I feel this almost like this magnetism pulling me out of it. And instantly, I'm all getting goosebumps. Instantly, I knew this was something special. This was like, holy shit, I am having a visit. I'm having an experience, okay? And during that time of my life, I needed something like that. I was kind of in a really dark place. And I'm getting pulled over. What it felt like to be pulled over, like say to the left out of my body and then straight up, okay? As I'm going straight up, I knew that there was energies around me. I felt presence, one on each side of me. And this presence was huge. And I felt 100% comfortable. I come right up into this ship. And this ship, no exaggeration, was like the size of Texas. Absolutely massive. I go right up into this like portal room. It's this very small room. And in this room was my two closest friends that I have been friends with for over 45 years, okay? Instantly, they're in the room, so now I feel really comfortable. They're kind of like putting on these boots, kind of like I don't know, it's like a 5D feeling, right? But instantly, they look at me and they say, what took you so long? And it was kind of like a little sarcastic, like this, everybody knows that this was going to happen. So instantly I was like, what took me so long, right? But there was this comfort because two of my closest people were there. Then I go right out into this room. I call this room the acclimation room, and it is massive. There were like big palm leaves, kind of like very, very tropical, like steam, very humid, very spa-like, but like a 5D spa. I call this an acclimation place because it's very earthy. So it's almost like when people first go up into the ship, in order to help them to acclimate is to kind of, well, make you comfortable, right? So here's this beautiful tropical like scenery. I remember seeing this leaf. It was like a palm leaf that was like 8 feet circle. I mean, that's a big freaking leaf, right? From there, I feel these energies under my arm. I'm getting zipped down hallways. Now, I'm talking like, imagine going down hallway, left, right, straight, left, straight, right, straight, 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 right, left, straight, but like 70 miles an hour. And I feel these, it's almost like I'm being held up under my arms. My legs are kicking in the air because I have never been so excited in decades for anything. And I knew this was a visit. This was a vision. And instantly I said to myself, don't forget this. Like, you have to remember this when you wake up, right? And then instantly my next thought was, I'm not going to forget it because this is a vision. Like, this is something that is meant to happen. I get taken through all these hallways, even though I was going like 70 miles an hour by these beings that I couldn't see yet, right? I knew they were about 10, 12 feet tall at least. But I couldn't be, it was like euphoric excitement. All of a sudden, I back up. I'm getting like backed up, put in this very small room, and I sit down on a seat, and my legs are kicking. Like, I'm like, oh my God, I'm about to experience something amazing. And they showed their face. They kind of like did this into the doorway at the same time. And they were kind of like the classic kind of like alien type shaped heads, but it wasn't like the Greys or reptilians or anything like that. These were 5D beings. These are beings that I could put my hand through, okay? If I was in the 3D and they were visited from the 5D, I could put my hands through them. But since I was in the 5D during that visit, they can lift me up, right? So they show themselves. They back away, and my feet are kicking. I had this red sweater on, I know that. My feet are just kicking like a little kid. One of the most beautiful, exciting moments ever. I was in music at the time, professionally trained vocalist. I was, still am. And that's all it was in my life, was music at the time. I was very spiritual, but music was the thing. I start hearing chanting through the left wall. Chanting, it's getting louder and louder and louder and louder. And then I realized they're chanting my name. Paul, Paul, Paul. The wall melts away. I'm getting goosebumps again. This was a long time ago, right? 20-something years. I think I was like 22 or 23. The wall melts away, and I look over, and all of a sudden, I'm on stage, and there was like 100,000 beings chanting my name. Instantly, I thought, this is a sign. I'm going to be fucking famous, right? I knew I was going to be a famous vocalist, and this is a sign that this is my audience. Well, at the time, I was going through my own healings. I had a couple different spiritual guides, teachers at the time that were helping me through my shit. And as that was happening, actually, hold on, let me back up a little bit. As the chanting was happening, I start coming back down to earth. I start feeling the pressure, the different pressure of the layers of atmosphere. And I'm coming down, and I'm coming down. And I realized what was happening. I was coming back down to earth. And I lost it. I started bawling my eyes out like you can't even believe. It was one of the most horrible experiences to this day. All of a sudden, I come out of it. I'm sitting up at the edge of my bed. And I said, I don't want to be here. I want to go home. I want to go home. And I'm just sobbing. I want to go home. I want to go home. And I heard this gentle, loving voice saying, you are home. And it was me back in my fucking room on earth. And I lost it. I went into the deepest depression ever in my entire life for about 5 to 7 days straight. Okay? It was for a reason. With my teachers later on, the people that were helping me heal and guide me, one of them said, well, Paul, the people chanting, it wasn't about music. It was about, basically I'm going to be a worldwide spiritual teacher and a channeler of healing, connecting people to higher selves and all that. And that even sent me into more of a depression because no, I want music. I want it to be music. And I argued with her for a long time, at least a year. And that's pretty much when I gave up playing out professionally and started my spiritual career. So why was that the worst experience ever, alien experience? Because you don't ever want to experience something that good. You don't ever want to experience home like that and come back here. Okay, I understand why it happened. Overall, I did benefit greatly. It set me on my path. It was probably just this huge timeline shift and an awakening. But that's my story. Tell me what you guys think in the comments. Where did you go when you were listening to this story? And have you ever had any experiences like that yourself? Love to everybody.
Lots of love and good vibes, people of that. See these good vibes, people here, they're making some orange peelings powder, and let's see what they'll do with it. What type of powder is that they have added? I don't know. Maybe some flavor or something like that. And then they cut this piece of wood here. Good people of Earth, what are these people making here? What do you think they are making? Or maybe these orange peelings can make some gum? I don't know. Let's see. Let's watch, man. Oh my god, this is interesting.
The age of Aquarius, the era of Aquarius, the total solar eclipse, and the Devil's Comet. They are all connected. According to ancient Sumerian scriptures, it is stated that Lord Enki will rule again when the era of Aquarius would come about. Guess what times we're in now? It's the age of Aquarius, the era of Aquarius. This information is fascinating and has been the subject of discussion and interpretation for a very long time. Considering this, it is intriguing to imagine the possibility of Lord Enki ruling again. What would that mean for us? It is a time associated with positive change and new beginnings. Many experts believe that it will bring a shift in consciousness with greater focus on humanitarian values. Moreover, it is thought to usher in a new era of scientific and technological advances, which will benefit humanity in numerous ways. Therefore, we should be excited and hopeful about the opportunities that this new age of Aquarius will bring. There are probably going to be a lot of people asking, who is this Lord Enki? Well, Enki is also known as Poseidon, Neptune, sometimes even Hades, depending on the mythology or religion that you've heard before. The Sumerian scriptures are the most ancient, and all stories of creation from all religions that came after got their stories from the Sumerians, meaning they are the first, they are the oldest, there lies all of the truths. I have an Anunnaki playlist, Lost Book of Enki. You can catch up to figure out who these figures are that I'm talking about, if you don't already know. Everyone that follows me does know. So if you're seeing me for the first time, there are playlists to catch up. So let's get back to Enki. He was slandered by his half-brother that wanted to rule Earth instead of him. And because Enki was the scientific genius, the creator god that fashioned the humans, the Adamus, the primitive workers, the black-headed people. And this is where his half-brother Enlil decides to call him Satan. In religious texts, you're going to find them called the fallen angels, the watchers. But in reality, you can all go back to the Sumerian scriptures and see the real stories in origin as they were, which make much more sense. They are simply an advanced civilization, much larger than humans. They came here and presented themselves as our gods. Total solar eclipses are often mentioned as an omen that the Anunnaki are returning. And there are going to be some people that say, oh, but they never left. Those are the descendants. Those are the hybrid, the originals, the Olympians. They left. And after all of the pyramid wars between Enki's line and Enlil's line, that is when they decided to leave after. In a nutshell, Enki is the good guy, Enlil's the bad guy. And up until now, it has been Enlil's rule. In fact, he's the person, the God of the Bible, and the God of the Muslim religion, and the God of the Hebrew religion. He wanted to be number one, and he was the one that started eliminating the worshiping of all other gods and proclaiming himself this mono God, only one. He is the only one. He is number one. It's all about him. He is the wrathful God that you hear about in the Bible. While Enki, his half-brother, is the benevolent God. See, the Bible just got the two people and mixed them into one, but they are two separate beings. And with that said, everything makes sense. So when I heard that besides the total solar eclipse, there's also going to be the passing of the devil's comet, and the devil allegedly, supposedly being Enki, but again, that's slander. He really isn't. Then it starts to make sense. The omen of Nibiru being very close, as it does this weird elliptical orbit around the sun of 3,600 years. The total solar eclipse, meaning that it's close again. And the devil's comet, that many believe is a starship, a craft, disguised as a comet, taking the name of the slandered Enki, the devil's comet, but he's not the devil. Then it's all connected. So, in conclusion, the age of Aquarius will bring back the rule of the masters of water, Lord Enki. Total solar eclipse means that Nibiru is nearby again. The devil's comet, being a starship or craft, could mean that that is his ship to come back. I believe that these events are all connected and are simply manifesting what was written in the ancient Sumerian scriptures thousands and thousands of years ago.
Good people of Earth, thank you very much for watching up to this far, man. You are loved and respected. You see all those videos that have passed are good vibes videos, and I'd love you to leave your comments. You see, thanks to everybody there that have been leaving comments and hitting the like button. Your support means the world to us. You can also take a look there at the merchandise shop and grab something. You see, also leave some comments of what you think about the sound and everything. You see, leave some comments, man. Good vibes. Peace and love be with you. Till next time, man. Goodbye.